are we have already seen this one, okay, the periodic code timer.periodic. So it is very simple. Here we can say timer.periodic, and then we can see that we have pass duration of 3 seconds. This is just a callback function. So we know that this is function, right? This is round bracket and then curly bracket. So whenever we see something like that, that means it is a function. And inside this function, we are doing number plus plus, and then we are doing set state. And yes, after doing set state, something should happen. So basically, we call it a magic. The magic should happen. So let's run this. Okay, and once it is ready, we will see the magic. Okay, we should be seeing some magic here. So can you see that this particular block is automatically changing its color? I'm not doing anything. And as soon as I click on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is changing when I am clicking this one, and this is changing with the value, with its own value. Okay. So why it is able to change itself? Because it is able to call set state in its own class. In container examples class, we can see that it is having its own set state. Okay, and that is why after every 3 seconds it is updating itself. Okay, you can see this build method, right? Build method is here. Let me actually start again. Okay, so let's try see this again. So this is our timer. Okay, this is this where the logs. Okay, so what happens in our init state? We know that init state is called before the build method. So in init state, we are calling update me function, and update me function is starting a timer of 3 seconds. Okay, and after 3 seconds, it is updating the number one, and it is doing a set state. And based on the number one, we are updating our top content. So we can see that top content is changing its color. We can make it more faster if we update this code. So number is divided by 2, change color. Okay. So we can see purple, gray, then again purple, and then gray. And it is possible because of stateful class only. Okay, because when we had the stateless class, we didn't had this function, right? The set function, and that is why we were not able to run anything. But now, because we have set stateful function or stateful class, that's why we have this set state function. Okay, is it clear to everyone that yeah, stateful class will have set state function, stateless class will not have a set state function, and this set state function is responsible for updating our UI. Is it clear to everyone? Is there any question? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask me, or you can send a message in chat. Okay.
Question, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. So let's move with the another important topic, and that is layout widgets. Okay. So we can see this layout widget type, right? And if I go into layout widget type, we will see a lot of widgets here. So
Excuse
all
me.
of these widgets, yes, ma'am. That is the thing.
Yeah, I have dropped a question in chat box. If it is appropriate, would you please address this right now?
Yeah, every question is appropriate. So I cannot see here. Is it in chat box?
Yep, in chat box of this person, maybe in your personal chat box.
How to access that? I guess I cannot see that. Okay, it is here, I guess.
Personally send, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Suppose I need to change state on basis of some time duration. So if you got it that I must how to do that. Suppose I need to change state on basis of some time duration. Okay. So time duration, okay, and COVID eligibility after 9 months. So yes, so what you can do, you have to actually store values in your database.
Mm.
And yeah, so let's say that today you got your second dose, okay, and after 9 months, so this is January. So basically in October, in on October 12th, you need your COVID booster dose, okay. Let's say that is the third dose that you need. So so whenever user open that application, you have to compare the date. So let's say that user opens his application tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow will be the 14th January. So you can check the saved data. The saved data was 12th Jan. That on the 12th Jan you got a second dose. So the duration is just 2 days, right? I mean, if you find the difference, that is just a 2 days. So that is not meeting your criteria, right? And let's say that user opens your application after 9 months, okay? Then when you compare the date, you will find out, yeah, that this person is now eligible for the COVID booster. And when you get that data, you can do a set state, and yeah, that is how you can change the color or change the state.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And basically, all these things are done from the server. It is not done from the our application side. And yeah, so that is also one case. Yeah, we can discuss on that part later. Okay. So okay. So let's start with our layouts. Let me close this. Let me create a new project that should be Flutter. Create layouts. It will create a layout project for us. Okay, then I can do CD layout ls. We can see that we have a layouts, right? A project like layouts. So let's see what are the layouts do we have. So I will create a class, sorry, a folder of layouts, Dart. Okay. So this class will hold list of layouts. Okay. Now tell me, this particular class will be a stateful or stateless. It have a list of all the layouts. Okay, layout. So tell me if this class is this class should be a stateless or stateful class. Come on, anyone want to try? Anyone? Okay, let's guess the values in this class will be updating or not. For example, here we can see that we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 16 19. So we have 10 sorry 19 layout widgets. So tell me if our widgets, I mean this layout widgets will change or not. The number account will change or not.
It will, sir.
It will, but it will change after a long time, right? Or let's assume that it is not changing. Okay. Let's say that it will be 19 always. So we will use stateless or stateless. Sorry, stateful or stateless.
Hateful.
Okay, we can use stateful, okay, but we can also go for stateless because the values will not update, and if values is not updating, then yeah, we can always go for the stateless. So again, are you convinced that we should be using a stateless widget here, or we should go with the stateful only? Yes.
Stateless is fine, sir, to just demonstrate the layouts.
Yeah, right. Because we are not changing anything, right? So we can use the stateful or stateless here. Okay. When we are not changing anything, we can make a stateless class, stateless widget. Okay. It will ask us to actually override the build method, which have build context, which returns something here. Okay. Have to write override as well. It should return. Okay. First thing, I cannot draw anything right here. Okay. So what is the list? If there is a list, for example, here, we can see it is a list, right? Here as well. So in this list folder, we can see a list of files, right? First is layouts and then main, right? And they are in a column fashion. So column, basically column means your objects are one above the above. So it is in vertical manner. The when your objects are aligned in vertical manner, then it is known as the column in our Flutter. Okay, for that we can use column, right? And column is actually a widget. If you remember the first line, that widget is a basic building block of all our UI. Okay, so even layouts, the layouts are also building block. Okay, this okay, so we can see the column. Okay, and inside the column we can see that objects are aligned in vertical manner, right? Are you getting it? So whenever we will write a column, or whenever we have a column here, it will have a lot of children in it which will be aligned in a vertical manner. Okay, so let me just write this. Okay, just give me a second, let me update our main class as well. We don't need all this, we don't need all this. Sorry, give me a moment. You all are familiar with this scaffold widget, right? In the body, I will have my legs. So what I am done here, what I have done. So basically, I have created a and just 1 second. Just give me a moment. Sorry guys. Okay. Okay. So where were we? So yes. So I guess everyone is aware with the scaffold widget. Can I get a heads up on that? Yes or no? Okay, no worries. Okay. So I'm just assuming that you know a scaffold, and if you do not know scaffold, or is there any question around scaffold, you can ask me. Okay. Okay. So now we have this layout class. Okay. Let's first go inside this layout and see. So inside this layout class, we know that this layout class is a stateless widget which have this layout object, and in its build method we have a column. Okay, and what is this column? And if you go inside this column, then yeah, this column is type of flex. And what is flex? It is multi-child rendering, and in the end we will find something like widget. Okay, that means this column is nothing but a widget. Okay, so it is clear. And if we go inside this text, and we will find that text is nothing but a stateless widget. That means whatever we are using out here, this column and text, they are widgets. Let's see what happens when I put two widget inside a column. Okay, let me run my Flutter project, run -d, and let's see what it happens, what it does. Sorry guys, sorry for this interruptions. Okay, so yeah, so you can see whenever I am adding any new thing here in this column widget, it is actually added over here. Where it is gone? Yeah, it is actually added over here in a vertical fashion. So we can see row is under the column, then grid, then wraps. They are actually inserting inside a column. Okay, let me add something else. Let me add container of, you know, height 100, width 100, and colors. Oh, sorry. color of some amber. Okay, let me again start it. We can see that it is also added at the end of this particular column. So what column does? Column help us to organize or to create a layout that will take multiple children, okay, or multiple child, okay, that will take multiple widgets, I can say multiple widgets, and it will place them in a vertical manner, okay. It will place that in vertical queue. Is that clear? How the column is working? Do we have anything on the column? Okay. Let's see how row is working. So you can see that how familiar the name is, right? So we can see now for the row, everything is same except the axis is horizontal right now. For the column, it is vertical. For the row, it is horizontal, right? We can see that again. Okay, let's put it for the grid. Sorry, grid view. Can anyone tell me what is the grid view and how grid view looks like? Anyone?
Sort of tabular, sir.
Sort of table. So so according to this thing, it should looks like a table. Okay. And what does cross axis count needs? So for that, I will go into count and see cross axis count. Where is that cross axis count? Okay, it needs this one. That I guess it is a number. If I reload it, it should be something. Okay. Okay. So okay, it is on the 10, it will not work. On the 2, it should work. Okay. I guess it is taking a lot of thing. Okay. So okay. Can you see that it is formed in inside a table like view? Here column, row, grid, wrap. Actually, we cannot see like that. For that, we have to add few more things. Color should be different. Okay, then few more things. Color should be red, something like that. Let me reload it. Okay, so we can see that now this particular thing is forming a table. So we can see in the first row we have two things. In the second row we have just a single child. So what is the difference over here? So when I am making this as a column, okay, and if I reload it, you can see that everything is stored or everything is being displayed in a vertical manner. The axis is vertical. Okay. When I make it row, everything is same except everything is now placed in a horizontal thing. And when I make it grid, when I make it grid view dot count and cross axis count is 2. If I restart it, then it is forming a grid view type of thing. Okay, I can make it 3 as well. Basically, that number means how many values we want in one line. So we can see that in one line there is 1, 2, 3 items. In second line we have 3 items, and in the third line we have only one because that is what we are left. Okay, we can also make it 4. When we make it 4, so this grid will take four items in every row. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay. Can anyone tell me why these widgets are known as layout widgets? Can anyone tell me about that? Why these are called as a layout widget? It is called as layout widget because of its behavior. So you can see that the behavior of these particular widgets are actually to take as many as widgets in this children, okay, in children format, and this children is nothing but a list of widgets. Okay, and after taking them, the work of these widgets are to actually lay out these widgets in some specific manner. For example, column will lay out this widget in vertical manner, and a row will lay out these widgets in row. Row will lay out these widgets in horizontal manner. Grid view will lay out these widgets in a tabular manner. Okay, any question around that? Okay, we have few more things. For example, wrap. Okay, let's see how wrap reacts. Okay, if I restart it, okay, so we can see wrap is actually in a row, but let's see, do we have anything else? Yeah, we have something like direction. What is this direction? So let's go inside this wrap and let's try to find out what is direction. So can we see that this direction is actually asking us for some axis, okay? And the default value of this direction is horizontal. Let's see what else do we have. So we have vertical, yes, we have vertical. And what happens when we pass vertical? So it makes it in a column. Okay, so by default, it looks like that it is a row, and as soon as we change it, it makes it in like a row. I mean, by default it is row, and as soon as we change it, it makes it as a column. Any question around this? Any question till here? Okay, any question? Anyone? Anything? If you're okay, let me know if you're understanding this or not. Okay, can everyone raise their hands if they're understanding everything? Row,
Yeah, Mr.
column,
Vivek.
yes.
Yeah, if we have the rep, then why should we use columns as well as rows even? Because things are done using rep.
So every widget has some type of properties with it. So wrap is a kind of spatial widget, and if you go inside the wrap, so mostly we don't use wrap, okay. And when you go inside the wrap, you will find out few more things that is not actually provided by the Flutter thing. Sorry, the column. Okay. So yep, I cannot specify the difference right now, but I guess it is I guess it is because of some kind of layouting issue. So there are some issues with column and row, and that's why they cannot be placed into very complex designs. And in complex designs we go with the wrap, and if there is some basic design, then we go with the normal column and row. So it is something like that. It depends on the behavior of it. Okay, is that fine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you will find a lot of widgets in Flutter which will do similar work. For example, here, if I instead of row, if I make it a grid, and if I make that cross axis number as 10 or 20 or 100, then it will act like a row. Okay, it will not act like a column. Similarly, for the since we have a column, we also have list view. List view also works same as a column. It just provide one more thing for it just provide us one more property, that is scrolling through column widgets. So similarly, we have a lot of widgets here, for example, wrap and column. So we just have to at the first we have to know what are the properties they are providing, and then based on our use case, we have to go with those widgets. Okay. How many raised hand I can see? I cannot see any raised hand. Okay, I guess someone has raised hand. Okay. Can I see raised hand equals to 43? Okay, I just have 4, 6, 7. Let's make it 43. And if not, if we are not making 43, that's perfectly fine. I want to know what we are missing out here so that we can cover that particular question out here. Okay, at maximum we have 11. Okay. Okay. So we also have a lot of other widgets, for example, stack. In this particular example, we can see in the stack, we are actually placing objects not in a horizontal manner, not even in a vertical manner. We are placing it on one of the above. Okay, so it is like a stack. Okay, you're putting things, on each, on up, on above. So it is going in some other direction, something like that. Okay, for example, you can see this dark blue box is at the bottom, and on above this we have this light blue, and on above both of these we have this red box. Then we have a table. Okay, and then we have row, list view, list body, grid view, index stack. Index stack is same as a stack, but it just shows single widget based on the index which we pass. Okay, then layout builder, column. Okay, let's talk about the layout builder, but before that we can see the column. So custom multi-child, so we can actually customize our column and rows out here. Then we have some flow. So basically we have a lot of multi-child layout widget. And what does it mean by multi-child widget? Can someone tell me what is mean by multi-child widgets? Why there is a name of single child widget? Can anyone try this? Unmute yourself and you can just tell me. Okay, so these are called as single child layout widgets because they only contain single child. Okay, so basically they can take only one widget. Okay, and these are called multi-child layout widgets because they can contain more than one child. So basically they can have children, right? And in this example we can see the wrap, column, rows, they are taking children. Okay, but if we go inside this container, so here container, we only have option of child. And we see that we have only one option of child here. We don't have children. What is children? Children is a list of widgets. And the widgets which takes children, they are known as multi-child widgets, and the widgets which take only one child is known as single child widget. Is that clear? Yes, no, something around that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay. So now let me show you something. So if you Google Flutter code base, sorry, code labs, okay, then you will land on this particular thing. Okay. And here there is build basic Flutter layout concepts. Okay. So what I want from everyone is that in the first lecture, so before first lecture of tomorrow, I want everyone to be, to complete this code lab, okay, which is basic Flutter layout concepts, and then show this a solution of this code base, code lab to Drumil sir. Is that fine? Can we do this? Can we do this code lab, everyone? Yes, no? Guys, teachers, can we do this code lab, everyone? Because that is the homework which is given by Drumil to you, all of you, and we want every one of you to complete this code lab and present this tomorrow in the morning to Drumil.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, great. So I've shared that. I have already shared that in chat. Okay, here you can find its link, and yeah, please complete it by tomorrow. Okay. Now, after this basic building block, we have a lot of code labs as well here. Few for the Dart, few for our Flutter. Okay. So yep, give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Yeah. Okay. So okay, we have a question. Please clarify, sir. Okay, don't call me sir. Please clarify, Vivek, what exactly is expected. So yeah. So in this code lab, okay. So we can see that there are some. So basically, it will explain us few things about the row column first. Okay, and then it will ask us to do something here. So we can see there is something I'm missing. So it will ask us to run this, and it will ask us to do some changes. Okay, so what we can do, so you can open VS Code, okay, and copy its code here. Okay, so for example, this code is for flexible widget. Okay, so you can copy this widget, copy this code and see what it wants, okay, from you. Update that code, okay, and then after updating that code in your VS Code, upload your Dart files on the GitHub, okay, and then share that particular GitHub link with Drumel. Is it too much or is it doable in one day? Yes, no, anything?
We'll try, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's good thing. Let's try it out. And yeah, the more you okay, so the single thing with Flutter is the more you try, the more you learn, because there are lots of things, and you will find a lot of things are very similar to each other. So you might confuse sometimes. So the more you practice, the better you will get at it. Okay. So let's dive some more into our widgets. Okay. Let's start with the column itself. Okay, and let's see how our columns look like right now. Where are our put? Yeah. Okay, so our column looks like this. Okay, let's play with the properties of this column widget. Okay, so what I mean by properties, and if you go inside this column, okay, you will see that it have a lot of variables with it, right? Or we can call it arguments, right? It have a lot of arguments, and then also we can see that almost every argument have some default value. For example, vertical direction down, cross axis alignment center, main axis is max, then main axis alignment here is start. Okay, something like that. So let's play with some of its property, okay, and see how they react. So before that, okay, everyone is actually familiar with the container widget. Okay, I hope everyone is familiar. If not, then let's see. So this container widget is single child widget. Okay, we can see that single child, and this container have a lot of other options. For example, alignment, clip behavior, color, constraint, decoration, height, width, margin, padding. So this also help us to lay out a widget. Okay, but it only help us with a single widget. Okay, therefore it is known as single child layout widget. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's give a color property. Okay, and the color should look like color dot. Let's take totally different color, that is pink. Okay, and let's reload it. Do we have a error here? Yep. Can we see this pink color took all the vertical size which is available? Can we see that? Can anyone give me a heads up? Yes, they can see
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yes. So let's play with some values here in column. So we can see that right now I'm inside the column, and there is this option mean axis size. Okay. Let's make it mean. Okay. Why we are making it mean? Okay, because if we go inside this column, we will find that the default value of mean axis size is actually max. Okay. I'm selecting another option that mean axis size should be min. And if I restart it, and I go back here, we can see this pink color is actually not taking whole widget, okay, or not taking the whole height. It is only coming from here to here. We are not able to see the color because it is okay. Let me just show that color. For that, I will use the padding. So I have a lot of things. Insets dot all 24. Let me just restart it. Okay. So can we see that pink color? It is taking only required space now. It is not taking whole place. Okay. Same thing goes with the row here. If we go inside the row, so it also have main axis size, okay, which is max. Okay. So let's just comment this line and restart it. So we can see that it is taking the whole space which is available to it. Okay. But as soon as I pass this value, the main axis size equals to main axis size dot mean, we can see that it is only taking space which is required by it. Okay. Are we clear with the first property, main axis size? Yes, no? Or is there anything that you want to know? Okay, then let's move to the main axis alignment. What is main axis alignment? First, let's see what is the default value of main axis alignment. If we go inside and see, the default value of main axis alignment is start. Okay, so and if I make it something else like end, and if I restart it, okay, so can we see that this is the column? Okay, and right now all of our children, okay, are placed at the bottom of this column, not at the top. Okay, and if I make it start and restart it, we can see that all of our children went on the top. So basically this main axis alignment tells us from where our children will be placed, or we can say that at which place our children will be placed. If it is start, then it will place from the start, and if it is end, it will place at the end. For the column, start is at the top and end is at the bottom. Same thing goes for the row. For the row, start is at the left and end is at the right. So if I make it and it should go to the right, we can see that it went all to the right. But what if I make it center? Do we have option? Yes, we have option of center. And we can see that right now it is in center. Is it with column as well? Let's try to see out. Let's try to see. So if I rename the row to column and if I restart my application, so we can see in the column, all these children are placed in the center. They are not at the start, they are not at the end. They all are placed at the center. Okay. Okay, this is what we played. Let's add one more property here that we just saw about main axis size dot main. Okay. As soon as I pass this main axis size in, we will see some different behavior. Okay. So right now we cannot see if that is in center or not. Even if I make it end, let's see what happens. If I make it end, okay, we see that nothing changes. And if I make it start, we will see that nothing changes. Same thing goes for the row as well. Okay, let's make it to end. Let's see if anything is changing or not. So it is not changing. So when our main axis is maximum, okay, then main axis alignment plays a great role. Okay. Okay. So okay, everyone had their attention till now. What we saw with main axis size, main axis alignment. Do you have any question around that? Why it is behaving like that or that? Any question?
No
Anyone?
questions, sir.
Don't tell me that I'm explaining things very easily or you are able to understand everything from me because I don't expect from my side that. I think I'm a very terrible teacher. Okay. So again, if you don't have question, that means either I am explaining it in very good format or I'm not able to explain anything. So that might be two cases. I'm taking the first one. Okay. So here we saw main axis alignment and main axis size. Let's see what is cross axis alignment and cross axis. Okay, so let's see what we have. What do we have for the cross axis alignment? First, let's try that with the column. Okay. For this, I will remove this code. Okay, and let's restart it. Also, let's see what is the default value of cross axis alignment. The default value is center. Okay, and right now our cross axis alignment is also center. So when it is centered, we cannot see actually anything. Okay, but what happens if we select start? So let's see what does change. Nothing is changing. If it is end, let's see what is happening. Okay, nothing is changing, right? Nothing changes, right? Can anyone tell me if there was any change or not? Yeah. Wait. I'm restarting our application. Let me know if you see any change or not. So this is for start. This is for end. Can you see any change? Anyone? Can you tell me? Or can you see any change out here? Okay, I'll tell you where to look. Look at this, for text, column, row, grid, and wrap. Okay, right now, so just look at its position. Okay, so when we have value end, so it was somewhere else, and when we do right, so you can see, sorry, when we did start, so it is at the start of this row, or we can say at the start of this screen, and when I am doing it end, okay, it is actually moving from left to right, but it is it is moving from left to right, but inside in column only. So this is known as cross axis alignment. So it tells us uh, on the other axis, for example, on the horizontal part, where our children will be placed. Either it will be placed at the start of column or it will be placed at the end of column, but on the horizontal axis. horizontal axis of column and vertical axis of row. Are you getting what is the cross axis alignment? So the main axis alignment is the vertical here for the column, but cross axis alignment will be the horizontal one. Okay, like this. Are you getting this part? Anyone? Or can we do something online draw? Okay, everyone is getting that?
Yes.
Yeah, so for column, this is the main axis and this is the cross axis, right? This is for the column. And for row, this is main axis and this is cross axis. Okay, so let's see our same behavior with the column. Okay, let me put it here. I will make it row. I'll start it. It is inside row. So here we can see right now column, this text are at the end of this row. Okay, because this is the end. And if I write start and restart it, we can see it just move ahead. Okay, so right now it is on top of this. Okay, are we understanding that? Here, this is the cross sectional element. For start, it is here. For end, it is here. Yes, no? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's try to see what is the behavior for the center. So for the center, it is same. This will not either. I mean, it will not be on the on the top or bottom. It will be in center. Okay. Same thing goes for the column. For the column, cross-axis alignment is on horizontal part, but when it is centered, it will not be in left or it will not be in right, it will be in center. Okay, so everyone got this point? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No.
Anything right
No.
now? Similarly, we have a lot of other things like vertical direction, text baseline. Okay, in the column. Okay, so can I expect everyone to complete that code lab? This code lab, basic Flutter layout concept by tomorrow morning, because when you do this, you will actually learn a lot of things. Okay, we have already covered a few things, but yeah, when you actually work on that part, then only you will be learn other things. Okay, so yes, this was the column row. Let's see some other widgets. Okay, inside column and row. Okay, so can we see this blue here, the blue box? Okay, let's play with this. So here it is blue box. Let's wrap this container in a new widget. Okay, and that is expanded. And let's rerun our code. As soon as we rerun our code, can you see this particular container is not actually taking 100. It is taking whole available space to it. So on the column, you can see it is taking all the available space for himself. Right? Can you see that change? As soon as we added expanded, okay, let me remove it first. Okay, then again we can then take it. Okay, so I am removing expanded, and as soon as I come here, we can see this blue box is taking only required space. Okay, it is taking 100 in width, 100 in height, which we have specified here. Okay, and as soon as we add a widget known as expanded. Okay, we expanded. It is taking all the space available to it, or I can say this particular widget is actually expanded to its maximum height, right? Let's try to convert this column into row, and let's see what happens now. If I make it row, can anyone tell me what will happen? Just a guess. Can anyone guess it? Okay. So it will,
Horizontal.
yeah, horizontal. Yeah, that was first thing. So that blue box will be expanded horizontally. That blue box will be expanded horizontally, right? Yep. So also, yeah, there is some other widget as well. Let me remove this expanded. Okay, I've removed that. And let me add a spacer here. The spacer is another widget which will do wonders. Okay, you will love it what it is doing. Okay, so okay, can you find out where that red box went? This color red box. Can you find out that red box? Yes, it is at the end of the screen, or I can say end of the row. And if we look at the code, we can see that after blue, we have a widget of spacer, and after spacer, we have the red. So basically, it means after blue, we have a spacer which is taking all available space for it. Okay, and basically, what it is doing, it is taking all the space and doing nothing. It is not showing anything out that place. And whatever widget is written after spacer is actually went at the end of this particular row. Right? Can we spot that difference?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And now, uh, let me amaze you, or let me show you something else. So if I go inside this spacer widget, okay, you will be amazed to find something very familiar. So you will find some familiar widgets out here. Okay. And that widget is actually expanded. So can you see that Flutter is using its own widget to create another widget to do something else. So yeah, this is expanded and spacer. And inside it, can you see the sized box? Okay, let's see what is the sized box. Okay, let me remove this and let me write sized box. Okay, and let me restart it. Okay, can anyone spot where the sized box widget is? Let me just give you hint. It should be in between blue and red box. Can anyone guess where is it?
Is it having zero kind of width or something, sir?
Yes, yes. So it is kind of a widget which have zero width and zero height by default. Okay. Also, if you want, you can pass some child to it, or if you don't want, you can just skip it. But let's do one thing. Let's provide a hit of width of, let's say, 300, and let's start it. So we can see that there is some empty space in between blue and red box. Okay, which is around 300. Okay, the space is about 300, and there is nothing. And that's what sized box is doing. So whenever you want some empty space, you can use sized box. Okay. Now you can ask me another question that, Vivek, I can use container instead of sized box, right? I will say yes, you can use it. Okay, but it will do something else. Or let's say let's give it height as well, 100. Oh, why it is taking whole thing? Okay, sized box. I just want simple width. Okay. So with container, you got some unexpected thing, but yeah, as soon as you start working it, everything will be expected. Okay. So yeah, so there will be a possible conversation or possible debate. Either should you use container or sized box, because both things are providing same thing, right? In container you have width height. Okay. In size you have width height. In containers, you have a lot of other options. For example, alignment, child, clip, behavior, constraint, decoration, color. But in size box, you just have only one option, child. Okay. And that's why size box is winner in this. So whenever you want to show some empty space, go for the size box because it is smaller object and it will take very less space on the memory. Whether and on the another hand, container is a very heavy object and it will take a lot of space on the memory. So yes, again, I will repeat my statement which I have given earlier, that there are lots of widget available inside Flutter, and it depends on our use case which widget we should use it. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now tell me, do you find these widgets easy, hard, or intermediate? So what do you think? I mean, this widgets, Flutter, stateful, stateless, all these things are very easy or hard?
Sir, depends on amount of practice.
So, okay. So you have back practice of 2 days, and okay. So based on this practice, tell me, is it hard or easy? Can you build a simple application of, out of it or not?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in a break time, I was going through a few codes online. In that, I found that if we have to fetch images in our container, that those images must be in a separate folder in assets. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was trying to make a folder as assets folder in which I'll put all the images which will be uh, taken in container later on. So how to build that folder?
Okay. How to create that folder, right?
Yeah, if we want to include a couple of images in our code, those images should be inside a particular folder. Yes, yes, it was showing somewhere above build, right? But then
Uh,
how?
just to let's first try out which image we want. Okay. Let's say we
Yeah,
want this image.
okay. You
Download
can
it.
run down.
Uh, okay, save image as, okay, it will download as name is allow in downloads folder. Okay, now let's create a folder here. Okay, so it should okay, so what you have to make sure that it is in your parent or it is just inside your project. Okay, for example, let me show you that here this is my project, right? This layout is my project. If I go inside, okay, here, so this is my whole project here, and just here I have to create new folder known as assets. Folder name can be anything. It can be, just a teacher, something like this. Okay, it can be anything. Okay, it can be like images as well. Okay, but for for the sake of our usability, we use assets. Okay, now let's put image in this asset. So I can say that here I have hello image, hello jpeg, right? I will put this in assets folder. So we can see that in the assets folder we have hello.jpeg. Can you confirm that? If we go here layout, we can see that as asset folder and we can see that hello.jpeg. Okay, so this is how we can create a folder for assets.
Okay, fine. I got it. Now that was mentioned that this should be somewhere reflected in pubsec.yml.
Yes. So
Is it
here
must?
is object.yml. Now you have to tell your Flutter project that you are going to use this image. Okay. So Flutter is very smart. So if you don't tell him that hey, I'm not using this particular asset, so it will never include in your project.
Okay.
And this is very powerful thing. I mean, if you're not using anything, you can tell Flutter that I'm not using it, and it will never include that in your project. Even though it is in your folder, it will never include it. Okay, so here your asset slash hello dot jpeg,
Okay.
right? And then you can do pub download. Sorry, Flutter pub get here. You can see that it is right.
Okay.
Uh,
Got it.
yeah. Let's do one thing. Let's try to show. Okay, so if I want to show an image, so I have to do image.asset. Okay, so for example here this is the container. Let me just put other course aside. So here you can see, let me just move this color. Okay. So here in container we have an option of child. Okay, and in child I will write image dot asset from where I am showing it. So I'm showing this from assets, and here then you have to pass the exact location which we have written here. Assets of hello jpeg, and let's try to find out if my hot restart is able to show us that image or not. Unable to load asset. Okay, for that I have to restart it. Okay, whenever you are doing some change in perfect.yml, you have to restart your application. And if you're doing any change in your lib folder, you don't have to restart your application. You can just do hot reload or hot restart. And I'm not sure if we will be able to show image here. Okay, let's wait for, yeah. So can we see that image? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. That means whatever we want to embed over here, that should be in a separate folder in
Yeah.
layout, whether it is an image or a video or anything. Right? So this is
Actually,
three step. Three step. First, we
yeah,
have to make a folder over here.
yeah.
Okay. We have to save all images and video, audio, every file over there. Okay. And then we have to mention in pubsec.yml. Okay. And then we will be able to use it during the code. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, let me tell you one more thing, that Flutter does not restrict us to put this image in only asset folder. We can put this image anywhere inside our project. It can be anywhere. Okay, you just have to update its path over here. That is it. Whatever your path will be here, you can use, I mean, after updating its path over here, you can use it anywhere. You can place that image anywhere. It's not such a constraint that you have to add over here only. So yeah. Okay, apart from that, any issue, anything, or any question? Okay, so let me move to my original question. Can we build a simple application using just these 2 days of knowledge of Flutter? Can we build simple applications out of it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can try.
Yeah, at
Very
least you
small,
can try it.
very
Yeah.
small one, but we can try.
Yeah. So now you have that confident, right? Now you're very confident that yeah, at least I can do it, right? So yeah, that yeah, I'm happy to see that yeah, at least in 2 days we are able to give you that confidence, and I guess that is very important, because if you're not confident about something, you cannot do it. And if you are becoming confident for a particular technology in 2 days, that means you are adapting it, and that means you are actually progressing in this path. So yes, and with that note, I want everyone to complete uh, now this, yep, this particular code lab and present this to Dhromil. Okay, because we will learn a lot of things over here. For example, text widget, icon widget, image widget. We already saw this. We have expanded size box, a lot of this. Okay, we also have this flexible widget. And when you will see this flexible widget, you will again amazed to see what it does for us. Okay, so can I hope that everyone will complete this code lab tomorrow, by tomorrow morning?
We'll try our best, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So yeah, I'm ending today's session right here. Okay. If you have any question, any doubt, I'm reachable on my WhatsApp account, or even though you can find me on Twitter or LinkedIn. So basically anywhere, and I would happy to help you out. Even though we are meeting tomorrow, but if you have any doubt in between that you want to ask, you can message me anywhere.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's from my side. Thank you guys.
Mr. Yadav,
Yes. Yes.
I have raised a small question on chat window. If you can address that.
Yeah, we will practice. Okay, please share extensions list for VS Code on Flutter. That might be helpful. So it's simple. Yeah, on the VS Code, go to extensions and just search Flutter. Yeah, and you will find Flutter. So there are two things, Flutter and Dart, which are provided from Google. So you can download them. Apart from that, there are some more, helper. So if you write Flutter, let me just show you. Let me just share my screen. Yep. If you write Flutter, so yeah, this is the first thing which you have to install. Okay, it is provided by Google. Flutter supports debugger for Visual Studio Code. Then there are Flutter widget snippets. You can install it this way. This will help you to do some faster coding. And then yeah, Flutter helpers is also good. And I guess that are the minimal thing which you can import. Apart from, there are lots of things. For example, Flutter Qubit, Flutter Riverpod, a lot of things that are there which you can install. But yeah, these are the minimum thing which you can have in your VS Code. This Flutter and this Flutter, where is that? Flutter widget snippets. And if you search for Dart, first one, this Dart language support, and then you can install this one as well from Oscars. Okay, so it is just syntax highlighting, but it will help you to build your code better, right? Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all of you. So